crypto, gaming, and tech bros. I'm Andy, aka Producer BTW, or Producer by the way. And by the way, to my left
is Daniel Gutierrez at dgutierrez84 on Twitter, and to my left
is Aaron, aka Sanity Crypto, on Twitter.
Yeah, welcome to, I believe, our third episode.
Third official episode,
Yes.
And that's right, we are here at Mobcrush. We're in studio. We got our good friend back there, our new Coinboy, Sam Proof, running the board.
What's up, Sam?
Hey, what's going on? How's it going?
Hey, man. I want to welcome anyone new that's here on the live stream. We're a crypto, tech, gaming-focused, former sort of podcast. Now, I did want to mention something before we get into our catching up, is that we started as a podcast, and you could see that we have an iTunes, and we do appreciate all the reviews and the stars there, and it's at the Coinboys. If you just search Coinboys in iTunes, you'll see us. That is our podcast where we initially started. We have how many episodes available?
I don't know.
A lot. A lot. And our main focus was always to kind of level up and do video. So now we've kind of shifted to doing our video show, which is here at Mobcrush, where we're going to talk news that's going to be relatable to tech, gaming, and crypto, because crypto is kind of where we started. And we'd love to also introduce some new people to that genre, if you're willing to take a listen to us. And we're here to play games live now, too, because we are gaming-centric. So we can play games, we can talk about games we're playing. But the structure is we catch up, we talk block news, we tell you what we played, and we play a game. It's pretty simple. And if you're willing to join us for the next hour or so, we're going to have some fun today, right?
Yes.
All right.
We're all about the fun, y'all.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So first and
Why not?
foremost, though, we have a hub. And this is the best place to go. And it's the Coinboys.com. Everything's there. Our former podcasts, links to former Mobcrush episodes. And we're available almost everywhere. That includes Twitch. The video show is everywhere. It's Twitch, YouTube. We're on Mixer, DLive. We just joined.
Even on LinkedIn, as you said, was killing it last week.
LinkedIn. Shout out to LinkedIn. Killing it last time.
We're growing like crazy, so basically you can get a show of some kind from us.
Yeah. We got a lot of content.
Thecoinboys.com.
Enjoy.
You'll find it there. Yeah, that's good stuff.
So anyway, thanks for joining us. But what we like to do first is kind of catch up, because I don't see these guys every day, thank God.
No, we text once in a while. But
Yes.
Yeah, to keep our sanity.
I'll start first. The new Tarantino film came out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
Obviously, Brad Pitt,
Great cast.
Margot Robbie,
Leonardo DiCaprio,
Leonardo
like the main person.
DiCaprio,
Yeah.
the late Luke Perry for a little bit.
Oh, man.
Just a lot of great people, and obviously we're in LA, and we both work in the entertainment industries, and I'm generally fascinated with movies about the entertainment industry, and this takes place in 1969, and it kind of interweaves the story of the Manson murders in the 1969, and I don't want to get too into it, but I do want to say that I thoroughly enjoyed it, and shout out to Quentin for being his highest grossing movie for an opening weekend.
Yeah.
Really?
That
Ever.
was a shock.
40 million.
For
For this
Kill
type
Bill,
of,
and that, I guess Pulp Fiction kind of gained its cult appeal.
Yeah.
This is opening
Yeah.
weekend, just his best opening weekend, which
Yeah.
says something. This is his 9th film.
Damn.
So
His
Yeah.
9th film?
I enjoyed
I've
it.
enjoyed one of 9 films then so far. Sorry, I'm a hater.
Which was the one? Just
Pulp Fiction. I thought
Really?
that was an absolute masterpiece. I think it was a fluke that he wrote such a good movie and directed such a good movie. I think it was phenomenal. But I know before you guys said you liked Inglourious Bastards, it was a 6 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
Yeah, Kill Bill was fun. It was better than Inglourious Bastards for me, but I don't know. A lot of it felt forced.
Well,
I'm pretty
I've been
And you
like
saw
every
it,
other.
right?
Yeah, I've been every other. But these last 3, because he's been doing his historical fiction kind of set. So Django, and then Inglourious Bastards, and then this one.
Didn't see Django.
Django's good. Django's, I think,
should
is better
probably
than
see
Inglourious,
Django.
to be
Probably
honest.
see Django then. Yeah.
But I enjoyed the last 3. But from prior to that, it's kind of like I like Kill Bill Volume 1. For some reason, I didn't like Volume 2. It was like really weird.
yeah.
It was kind of a Matrix scenario.
Yeah.
Although Matrix was like the first Matrix was mind blowing.
You
The
watch
first
the
Kill
first
Bill, I was
Matrix
like,
is
that
awesome.
was fun, and then they kind of tiered down from there. I was like, okay.
He's an acquired taste, but he generally,
He's a rat bastard of a human being, though. By the way,
Is he?
Yes, the way he
know.
treated Uma Thurman on the Kill Bill set has been documented as horrible.
Really?
Like, she got in a car accident. He didn't care. She gave birth to her child. He demanded she were back on set within 2 days. She said she cried in the bathroom stall every single day she was on set because she gave birth, and 2 days later she's back on set filming, crawling through the mud.
He's
and doing
one
all this.
of
Wow.
the greatest directors in our modern day to exist, and made
He's
some
a bastard man.
Maybe.
Listen, Chris Brown's a great singer too. I'm not buying this shit. But
This is just
Michael
his-
Vick's a great football player.
He's a tyrant of a worker. Like he's very serious about his movies. He had the cell phone rule, by the way. No one on set was allowed. You had the check in. That includes Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. Everybody had to check in their phones before they entered set. I think that's great.
I have a feeling that was not true about Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, it was absolutely true.
All right, I
they even
guess.
said so in an interview, unless they would lie.
What's his name that you worked with before?
Probably.
Kitchen
there was-
Nightmares. What's his name?
Gordon.
Gordon Ramsay. He banned taking pictures of his food in his restaurants.
Sure.
He's like, you cannot do that. You're
It's
here to
kinda
eat. You're not
silly,
here to
yeah.
feed Instagram. And I was like, I
Thank you,
appreciate you.
Because everybody complains that their food is cold.
yeah,
No
'cause they're taking
offense.
pictures of
And
it.
I was on the dating scene, right? And I would go probably like 5 out of 10 dates. The girl would be like, excuse me, I just 1 second, I want to take a picture. And I'm like, ugh. On a date, I feel like
I've
it's
had
a
some
little
horrible dates back in
on
the
a
past.
date. Don't take a picture on my.
The internet eats first.
Then I'm like, do I have to take a picture now?
yeah. You're like, oh, don't touch the dessert. Yeah, sorry.
I don't like
I've had
it.
to wait so much. I once took a picture of everybody else taking pictures of their food at the same table, and I was like, forget this. And I just started eating everything while they're taking pictures. It made me feel so good.
You ruined it.
So
Good man.
you saw the movie, but anything we should know?
Well, here's the thing. So movie-wise, yeah, there's a lot of weird things, and I'm wondering if this is stemming from the Uma Thurman thing, to be honest, because there's a lot of like attack on Tarantino about how he portrayed women in this film,
Oh,
and ironically
interesting.
enough, he portrayed them pretty strong.
I think that's just a time thing. Like
I
everyone's
don't
very
know, it's so
critical
strange, but-
of movies. It's just a thing.
But I enjoyed the film. The only thing I'll say is I was confused as to why they had a certain storyline in it, and I already
Sure.
talked to him about that. But
Yeah.
but it's a great film. I enjoyed it. It's fun. You don't go in there to expect to change your life.
I'll
but
wait
it's
for
great.
streaming. Yeah, I know. I got a 1-year-old, so I don't get to go
Yeah,
to
you,
movies
you have
right
to,
now,
definitely
so
have to wait.
I
Well,
gotta pick and choose.
I will say that of all his movies, this one was like the least violent and the least
Really? He loves violence.
cursive.
It was very character driven.
Yeah.
Very.
That's
Gross
pretty
amounts
interesting.
of violence, but okay, that's cool.
Aaron, what about you, man? Just babies?
Yeah.
Only
No.
babies.
Yeah, only babies. No, my life doesn't revolve around my family, but no, I got a little bit of R&R throughout the week. Just was planning for a heavy weekend of being responsible. Not enough gaming. I was complaining to you guys a little earlier about
Yeah.
that, but I did get enough of my gaming in my new game, which I'll talk about too. But I talked about last week, I think it was Dying Light that I picked back up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it was 2 weeks ago, but I've been picking it back up, and I'm playing it on hard, and it's really effing hard, man.
Yeah.
Like I played it through on normal back in the day, and I beat it, and it's like now when you use your health pack, it's not like instant life. It's like you hit your health pack, it's like tick 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 tick, tick. So it starts to slowly bring it back, and like you die so quickly. So I'm really getting ready for Dying Light 2. I'm super excited about that.
That doesn't come out until next year, right?
Spring 2020.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
got
yeah.
time. With how fast I'm going, I'm 3% done with the story. I'm like, oh Lord, because I actually have to go around and grind and level myself up to be able to even kill like the bandit humans, because they're a bunch of bastards, and there's like 5 of them, so you got to pick them off one by one. So it's just been I kept
Just grinding all weekend.
banging my head against the wall to like chip away at that before I decided to switch over to my other game, which we'll talk about with what I'm playing. But yeah, it was a productive week, a lot of work,
Excellent. So you didn't get to see The Boys.
I did not get to see The Boys. Everybody keeps telling me you got to go watch it on Amazon Prime
Yes,
right
that
now.
I did start watching.
you guys see The Boys?
I saw The Boys. I saw the. Did you see the whole thing?
No.
I saw only the first few episodes, and I enjoy the hell out of it.
Everybody's
because,
been raving about it.
It's
Sam,
based,
did you see it?
Yeah, I'm almost done. I think we have
Oh.
one episode left.
Good
All
binge.
right.
Wow.
Although this last episode, I'm not going to spoil anything, took like a turn I wasn't expecting, and I was like, you sons of...
Oh,
But I still love
that's
it. It's really
though.
good. It's really good.
They want you to lament now.
My thing is, it's like Amazon Prime's Umbrella Academy, kind of. It's like
It is.
It's pretty much because this is a
Was
graphic novel
Umbrella
too.
Academy a Prime original?
no Netflix.
Oh,
Netflix
Oh,
original,
yeah.
but it's based on a graphic novel.
Yeah. Oh, the Umbrella Academy. I still need to finish it.
I was just
phenomenal.
I just remember watching it with my friends, and they saw Carl Urban, and this is like this. I don't know. They used to be really in touch with Hollywood, where they could see somebody and know which actor that was. But she goes, "That guy was on Game of Thrones." I'm like, "That's really racist." Ironically, you think he was on Game of Thrones because it was his accent and he gets all bearded up? That's Carl Urban.
Oh,
Was he the same
from
guy
Doom?
in Ragnarok? The bald guy in Ragnarok that had the machine guns?
Yes.
That's him, right?
That's him.
Carl
Yeah.
Urban.
Because Yeah, he's great. I like him.
I
a
know.
lot.
Oh,
he's
he's
one of those
Scotty.
like that guy.
He's Judge
actors for a lot of
Dredd in the
people.
second Judge.
That's
in the
right, he
remake
is.
of Judge
Oh, yeah.
Dredd. He's great.
Like
He's
I said,
good.
he was in Doom. He
Doom.
was the good guy in Doom.
Didn't he turn? Oh, he was the good guy.
He was the good guy.
The Rock that
was
turned
the
bad.
bad guy. Spoilers, sorry.
Oh,
It's been out for like 10 years.
No one's
sorry,
gonna
you
watch it.
Yeah, now they're not gonna.
They're gonna wait for Doom Eternal.
But so we'll see what happens next week when we catch up. But right now, let's get into the meat of it, and we're gonna do block news. All right, guys.
I
First
like that
topic.
sound effect, by the way.
My lasers.
We should be using that all the
We
time.
because we do this is the pre-live show or the live show. We do an edited
Yes.
version where we'll add some context to it, a little bit more context to
You're
it.
gonna see so many things.
But first
Yeah, there's
news
visuals.
article I have is really interesting. It has to do with Bitcoin, and that's a Newegg, the very popular online software, computer, hardware marketplace that's been around for years, is accepting Bitcoin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm.
Why did you
they-
moan over
Oh,
there? What are you
because I
gonna
love
sign?
Newegg, but they don't charge like no tax to like all the other states except California. We charge tax.
Yeah.
So my friend Keith was like, "Oh my god, I just got this like monster graphics card. I paid no tax." I look, I'm like, I gotta pay tax.
Yeah.
So I love Newegg, but hey, they're taking Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
That's a plus.
That is a plus.
But they used to take Bitcoin, and then they stopped.
They did, right?
And now they're taking it again.
A long
that's
time ago.
Yeah, when they were back at the beginning. So it's the problem with cryptocurrency. The problem with Bitcoin is, for those of you who aren't really too familiar with it, is it takes a long time for you to process a
Yeah.
payment. It's like a pain in the butt to do so.
Compared to a credit card, absolutely.
Yeah,
Compared
you
to a
don't-
bank transfer, it's magic.
Oh
But,
yeah. No, I'm not. Nobody's bank transferring Ralphs or bonds.
That's
but
true.
so when you're just trying to do your normal transactions on like Amazon or whatever, you just pop in your credit card number and it's done. Whereas with Bitcoin, you have to wait. You got to
So
get
depending
confirmation.
on what's going on, if like the price is moving a lot, the transactions slow way down because there's a lot of
Yes.
volume. If it's whatever, it's been leveled out for a while, it happens pretty swiftly.
Yeah, but for merchants, when you are dealing with a currency that in the morning is worth one thing and then at night is worth something
Yeah.
completely different, it's very difficult for them to accept the currency
Mm-hmm.
for what it is. So that's why I applaud early on, like Overstock and Newegg and a few others.
Expedia.
Expedia
Tw-
for, for a
2014.
while. For a while, they stopped.
They were like really.
Yeah.
Wow,
I-
2014, that was
they were early on.
pioneering.
They were
business time with them.
they quietly had it. It's not like they made a big announcement, but they had it there and it was available.
Yeah, that's why I applaud anybody who's taking this step, because that's how it gets adopted. You
Yeah.
take the step, you keep them going. But I understand why businesses bail out, because it's just difficult for them to hold on.
Well, let me throw back to some old news. Do you guys remember when everybody was like, "Oh my God, Fortnite's accepting Monero"? Which
Oh,
Monero was
I
a
Which
shunned
was a
that.
lie.
You
but
don't even
yeah.
have to
Well,
tell me.
it was on the website. It's
No.
sort of like we added it accidentally. You can't just accidentally accept a privacy crypto. It's like somebody had to go on there and integrate the payments and then get the payments to actually register a purchase.
Well,
so somebody
what
did it.
happened,
They
right?
just kind of washed their hands.
I
of it.
Andy
so
explained what happened.
I'm the one that called it out because I
Yeah.
saw Pomp. Shout out to Pomp. Put out a tweet saying
Anthony Pompliano on
he
Twitter.
does these like end week things like these 6 things
Oh, these
happened,
happened in
and he says
Bitcoin.
Fortnite accepts Monero, and I was like, what? And I, who played Fortnite at the time, was like, I didn't hear that. Then I did I was like, okay, I got to investigate. Because why would Monero be accepted by Epic Games?
I know.
Why
They
would
want
they do that?
untraceable coin
So
to be
I
accepted
d-
for your Fortnite payments.
That'd be great.
This is an example of not looking beyond the headlines, right? Most people are seeing these headlines. Epic Game accepts this. Now, they did accept crypto, but on their merchandise store only, not in the game
yeah,
for
you can do
V-Bucks.
cosmetics or
But-
V-Bucks, correct?
With most websites, merchants, they hire a third-party payment service that has that option, and they accidentally added Monero, but it was still only on the merchandise shop. It was
Yeah.
never in the game. ever.
Untraceable Fortnite T-shirts.
Oh, that'd be the greatest.
Except you got to send it to an address.
I don't
which
want
is
anybody
traceable.
to know I play that
So
game.
if you're new, be careful, and I'm not putting Pomp down, but be careful of tweets and like read beyond the
Sensational
headlines.
news.
I am,
It's
though. Be careful.
Yeah,
I
because
caught him a few times.
saying Monero was going to be like traded for V-Bucks is the most outrageous thing I've ever heard. So as an actual logical person that understood both gaming and crypto, I thought it sounded ridiculous. So I investigated, but most people won't.
Yeah.
So be careful of what you hear.
Oh,
With
people
these,
retweeted the hell out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was
Number one thing that we could tell all of our listeners on the podcast is do your research.
Yes.
That's not supposed to be that many words, but do your research.
many syllables.
Because
Do your own research.
All of the syllables. Get 'em all in,
DYOR. We
because
acronym it all the time.
You have to. You really have to. There's just too much false information. I don't want to say fake news. It's out there, so you have to be very careful. False information. False.
You are false news.
But let's
exactly.
let's move on to our second article, and I got here. They've created a prosthetic arm that feels and inspired by Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
We all know.
It's a prosthetic arm that feels.
Yeah, so they basically there's a company out there that.
How do they know what Luke Skywalker how he felt with his prosthetic?
Well, it was
arm?
inspired by Luke Skywalker's arm, because I also thought that they called it Luke Skywalker.
They
until
knew
I
he
read
was
it
fake,
again.
right? His fictional
But,
character.
Yeah. So basically, they created an arm and through 15 years worth of technology, running tests and all that stuff, have figured out a way now that if you get this prosthetic arm, you can they connect it to your nerves, and you
That's
will feel
crazy.
you feel the object that you're grabbing, because one of the problems that
how it
people
happens.
with
That's how it
prosthetics
works.
have is when they grab something, they don't really know if they have it because they can't feel it.
It's a pressure
And they don't-
sensor. Yeah, they might crush it.
And they
or
also know
might
if
not
they're going
have
to crush it.
They're too loose and a glass will drop or something. I
So
can
this
imagine.
is very, very, very looking very good for them and being able to have a normal life again.
Cyborgs, y'all. This
I'm
is exciting.
excited.
I think
Cyborg
it's
step
actually-
one, bro.
I do agree. I've seen more and more
Deus Ex Machina.
advancements in prosthetics, and I think we're getting in the next 20 years. It's going to be like a common thing.
You know what's helping? 3D printing. I can't tell you how many times I cried on
Yeah.
Reddit seeing, I 3D printed this arm for this little girl who couldn't afford one. I'm just like crying. I'm like, give them all prosthetics. Like, it was just really, it's beautiful that people are being able to design their prosthetics at home and 3D print.
I would make the weirdest things 3D printed. Be like,
You should.
today I want Yoshi mixed with Luigi.
Whoa,
What's gonna happen?
it's gross. That's what it's gonna be, bro.
Oh, Sam, I saw you nodding real big with the 3D printing. You got
Do
anything?
you 3D print?
Oh no,
Yo,
I
do you
wish.
3D print or what?
If I had
Oh.
one though, I would just make all my own custom board game pieces.
Yes,
Oh,
you
that's
do.
right.
You D&D?
There
Or
you
did
go.
I used to do D&D. I mostly do just tabletop games,
Because
That's his passion.
like
he loves the tabletop.
Zombicide and yeah.
Because one of Andy and I mutual friend, he plays D&D and he 3D printed his own piece.
Nice.
And I'm like, that's awesome. He had an afro, a guitar, and a lightsaber or
Wow.
something like that. I was like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's some interesting
There's-
Dungeons and Dragons with
There's-
the Jimi Hendrix guy.
There's a site called, I think it's like Hero Forge, and you can go on and they have a 3D
Oh, yeah.
renderer, and you can customize your own miniature, and then
remember
like
that.
they'll ship it to you, but it's like $20 for a miniature. and
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
what it was.
They've had that around for a little while, but that was the only way to get customs kind of back
Yeah.
in the day. Was either like carve it yourself or do that. But now with 3D printing, you can
3D
make your own, then sand it down.
The
and
point
do
is,
it.
guys, 3D printing and electronics are going to be
electrodes.
And I think there's some
That's crazy.
like 3D printing's become more affordable. You can get like for $300 a pretty good one. I'm pretty sure. Like it's more for. I think when they first came out, they were like way expensive, like over thousands of dollars. But
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
They were
And-
huge.
And it's funny because I was talking to somebody and I was like, well, can you print me the pieces for my own 3D printer? And he goes, find the specs and I will. And then some other guy was like, no, there's a company that they have like 90 3D printers and they're constantly printing the parts for 3D printers and selling them. I'm like,
So a 3D printer's
Inception.
printing parts for itself.
yeah, printing to build more of itself.
Self
And then we're going to give it
heal.
AI
And then we're screwed.
we're all screwed. For many reasons, Boston Dynamics too.
But kind of staying in the same vein, I see satellites with lasers now. What
Ooh,
is
that
going
was
on?
mine that I found.
What is
So,
going on?
The French government, Emmanuel Macron, has decided to allocate 700 million euros a year towards satellites that are armed with machine guns and lasers in space.
Did he just watch Spider-Man Far From Home? Because if
of
you
the
know the
drones?
glasses and Tony Stark has control of all the satellites in space that have
Well, I'll tell
guns
you.
and weapons.
Well, what is
Sounds
it?
like
Science fiction becomes science fact.
Well, that's
you know, and that's generally true. So
Tony Stark
He
becomes
says
fact.
he is actually building these as a defensive measure, not necessarily an offensive measure,
Right.
because you know.
well, if it was an offensive measure, we'd be real,
I'd be a
real
little
deep
worried.
problems.
Defense and offense just depends on where it's pointing. I
So he
guess.
said he wants to launch like nano satellites. They're able to travel around and protect communication satellites or military strategic satellites because they're going to have submachine guns, which I mean I guess could work. But the way that guns operate is it needs pressurized atmosphere to fire. Like
So we had a Star Wars program back in the 1980s.
oh that was just a big
Reagan
waste
did
of
it.
budget.
Oh, but why was it a waste of budget? For the same reasons why I think this is probably going to be a waste of budget.
Well, we're building a space force, and if some bad actor, you know, sends a satellite up there to destroy all of our communication satellites. We have no defense. They're going to start blacking out communications. So our cell towers will stop working. You know, all
And
that.
that's fine, but I think first off, when Trump says Space Force, I don't think he's trying to defend his satellites. I think he wants to attack something. But the other half is Macron had said lasers and bullets.
submachine
So
guns.
you have issues with the bullets right off the bat. And I think, as far as I remember, one of the problems that we had with the lasers is that the lasers don't actually work in space. There's not enough gravity.
there you go,
to
Macron.
to retain the light beam.
But that's the thing. If you throw 700
Well,
million
then you just
euros
need-
a year at something,
You need space lasers then. That's no
I
problem.
know, yeah, come on.
So
Hey, no, they come up to him and say, "Hey, boss, can't shoot lasers in space." He's like, "Well, make space lasers then.
Well, okay,
Here's
so
$5 billion."
That's
no,
the
they're
point.
really expecting that this technology is going to be developed by 2025, which they'll roughly spend 4.3 billion euros by then. But they want to have this actualized and in space working by 2030.
well, I know what they want to do. What they
You
want to
can do a lot by 2030. Though.
The thing is, there's a lot of space debris around
That's
us.
what we should be using the lasers.
And so
to
that's what they're
destroy.
trying to. That's what they're really trying to do is protect those satellites from a lot of the debris or anything coming at it.
That's what they
It doesn't sound as
say.
cool,
That's what
though.
they say, but I don't see how
wanna
it's
see the
possible.
guy in the
We need a
jetpack
space
from,
net or a space mop and
What was that?
broom.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and stuff like
Okay.
that. They had the zero-G battles flying around.
All I know is the Space
Insane.
Force should be similar to Power Rangers if they really want to do things right.
I
Oh,
hope
well,
that's
then,
the
yeah.
uniform.
I'm
And
in.
I will be,
I
Blue
want to
Ranger
see.
maybe Green Ranger.
No, you're gonna be the Green Ranger. You're gonna be the guy who's green, who tries to play a knife that comes out like a flute through a mask.
Yes.
Yes.
None of that makes
First
sense.
off, he's my favorite, and secondly,
my
I'm
favorite
Zordon.
color.
No, we're leaving it at that.
I love it.
I don't know how this is gonna work, but I don't think it's. Gonna
I
work.
thought it was funny,
But I'll sell him
we-
something.
Aside from, we are literally starting to realize, someone could do damage in space, or we need to protect things in space. So this is happening. This is
We
kinda cool and
we
terrifying.
need something. I don't think we need machine guns and lasers. I think we need nets and waste baskets. That's what we need
Okay.
in space.
just fling it all towards the sun.
Just make sure it can't be broken up once the debris hits it. So, anyway,
Most of that stuff you can send, the debris you can send towards the Earth, and the atmosphere will break it up.
yeah.
Well, we-
NASA, call me. I'm here at D Gutierrez 84. Thank you.
So, China has approved rockets. I mean, Rocket League, the video game.
And they also approve rockets.
Don't want to
I thought this was
confuse
about
you.
space again.
So-
Just did a little China
Rocket League
joke
was,
there.
was not
So
cleared
Rocket
in
League
China?
was not cleared
No.
in China. So what happened is, and it's still
Was it
kind of
gonna
not.
free the people?
That's a good question. But the point is,
I can see them now.
Tencent.
Rocket League is legal.
Oh yeah, no. Well, they don't know Rocket League.
I know.
None of them know. A
No
few
one
of them
knows
kind
what
of
it
do.
is.
So
Yeah.
Tencent,
Sure they
which is like basically the thing that runs China.
Uh-huh.
Tencent is that company that makes all the apps.
They make
all the
tons of video games.
They make movies. In fact, Mr. Rogers, the new Mr. Rogers movie with Tom Hanks, is a Tencent film.
Nice.
Oh, you guys have no idea how much money.
They have
China's throwing at
so
Hollywood.
much money right now. But so finally, after a while, Tencent and the people who are making the Chinese version of Rocket League have finally got approval to let it release.
Wait, so they're building a proprietary version of Rocket League just for China?
And so this is where the question becomes.
Probably so you can do online matches only in China.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what they don't
yeah.
want to.
They don't wanna-
They don't want some British kid being like, overthrow your government. Overthrow.
No, well, that's the thing is they want complete and utter control
That's-
over
they
the
want
game
control
at
everything.
any moment.
Everything.
And here's the other half. This is why I'm really bringing it up. Not so much that Rocket League is being approved. That's great. I'm glad it's being approved. But the other half is how much are the companies giving up to allow for the games to be played in China? Because we're already giving
good
up a lot
question.
on movies too. Right now, movies are being cut up and chopped up to comply with Chinese government
Yeah.
regulations. What other things are we going to comply with the Chinese government regulations? Now, I work with China every night. They're listening to me every night.
That means you're being watched by
I'm
the Chinese
definitely
government. Bro.
being watched
They're probably watching
every
Mobcrush.
night.
Shout out to the Chinese government. Hey,
Watch us on
Thanks
Mobcrush.
for stopping by.
But the point is, I don't like the fact that because I asked them with one of my students, she was like, "Oh, I saw Bohemian Rhapsody." I'm like, "Oh, so what did you think about the gay scenes?" She goes, "What gay scenes?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Bohemian Rhapsody cut out all of the gay scenes. There was no movie. Like, what did you do?" So.
Wow.
So
Freddie
I want to
Mercury
know what we're
better
going to,
learn.
what we're losing out on our end because of these compliances.
Well, I wonder too, and I think it was a couple months ago that the Switch finally got approved to be released in China. I think they had to make sure all the hardware was there. They had to make sure the network is.
Really?
The
Because
Switch,
one of my students has the Switch for a while.
they buy the European versions a lot too, and
Oh,
just kind
it's
of.
probably-
It's not region locked.
Possibly.
It's free to use.
Yeah.
anyway.
So I mean, the Switch is already one of the best-selling consoles now. I think it's top dog right now. Honestly,
it's doing well.
But now it got approved for China. I don't know when exactly it's going to get released, but I was hearing that news and I was like, it wasn't out in China. Again,
Yeah.
I don't have my ear to the ground in China.
All of the kids in China right now, all they play is mobile games and PC games. Very rarely do I ever find a kid who has an Xbox or a Switch or a PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's really
But all the
difficult
modded
because-
systems come from China, so I figure they may have access. Maybe it's not as popular there.
Well, they have to come from China because that's the only way that they can get is the modded systems. That's the only way that they
It's
can,
true.
they can
Yeah,
do those things.
that's where it all comes from.
So it's something that we need to watch and pay attention to because
It's over 1 billion people, man. That's a lot of purchasing power. So if something gets approved there.
and yet like whenever I hear the box office numbers and stuff like that, I'm like that's kind of low for 1 billion people going to see a movie. Like,
Yeah.
but anyways,
It's a lot different. Even though they're a huge population, doesn't mean that their movie going is as popular as America. America's like the most popular in
they
the world.
go to the movies a lot.
But our box office is measured.
Our box office is high because tickets here are expensive. Do you know how much?
Yeah.
That's true.
In China, it costs like equivalent of anywhere between $10 and $12 max to go see a movie.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Although, you know what? That's why so much. My father worked for Disney for a long time and some other side Hollywood projects. But it's insane how much money China is throwing at Hollywood because they have so many tales of like all these, ancient Chinese tales of all these like historical stuff and battles and Monkey King and all these things that they want the West to appreciate. And they tried to release the Monkey King with Jackie Chan. Failed.
That
They
was
tried to
awful.
release it with Jet Li. Failed.
Yeah.
That
They
was
tried
with
to do an
Jackie Chan
animated
and Jet
series.
Li together.
Failed. They tried to do some like TV streaming one. Failed. It's like, so they're trying to weave it in. So the Great Wall with Matt Damon and all the American Asian actors were like, how dare you cast a white person? But guess who asked for that? China. They said, we need a A-list Hollywood actor in our story from China. So they wanted some non-Chinese person, non-Asian person to be the star of their movie to try to attract a Western
And then the
audience.
opposite is being true in terms of like Pacific Rim 2 had a very famous, I think it's Fan Bingbing was her name.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, she was definitely in Days of Future Past for X-Men. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to bring the Chinese stars into the American
Yeah,
market
because
as
they can
well.
only do so much like House of Flying Daggers and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because those are just very old like Chinese kung fu style.
Mm-hmm.
But they want Hollywood level integration with their Chinese history and Chinese stories and Chinese actors.
Yeah, I want it too. They have awesome stories. They have such talent out of there. What I just don't like is what are we giving up in terms of telling the story? What are we giving up in terms of?
We'll
I mean,
never
it's
know
here's the
until we
thing: is
produce our
that
own.
like
Yeah.
we're as Americans, we're getting the information we want to see, but I don't live in China, so I don't know I don't consider it losing. I feel like they're losing.
Only been to Shanghai.
So I'm not affected.
Well, think about it like this: what would be easier to do? Make one thing or make two things? Like they're gonna
you're
just make
China-
one thing to make sure it's clear across the board.
Well, we know that universally, like when we release, like now, like universal releases are known. Like an MCU movie drops in China, Japan, everywhere. That's popular, but no one in America says, "I can't wait for the biggest Chinese movie to come to America." No one cares.
Because it went on to Netflix. It's called Wandering Earth.
Well, that's true. But anyway, enough of China. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. We're going to talk about Fortnite, so I don't know if you want to hang around. Next up, we had the Fortnite Cup.
Oh, well, this was big news. I mean,
It's
everybody
huge.
should be. I bet a lot of people were watching the
So,
tournament.
For the first time, they did their biggest cup. And I was talking to Daniel, I was that this is interesting because this isn't like esports, like, hey, I know there were esport players in the event, but it's not like, hey, here are these esport teams. This was in a cup open to anyone that could qualify, like poker. I like to
Yes.
think of it as poker. So we had a winner, this 13-year-old kid named Kyle, won $1.3 million winning the solo Fortnite tournament, which is the biggest. They did duos, they did squad.
Yeah, I was seeing like a lot of numbers. There's a 16-year-old kid who won $3
$3
million.
million?
There's a
Yes.
15-year-old kid that won 2.25. There was a kid who got 5th place in Argentina who got $900,000, which if you don't know the economic status in Argentina, their currency has been devalued.
He
with
can buy
inflation.
Argentina now, guys. That's what we're trying to
He
get
better
at.
keep
Thank
that.
you, Fortnite.
Ask to get paid in Bitcoin or USD.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta say because That's life-changing.
But what I was-
these are all teenagers. It's amazing. Good for these kids, man.
What I was going to say is that this kid is the reason why he's been featured is because solo in Fortnite is the hardest because you don't have a teammate.
Wasn't that Ninja's specialty and everything?
Well, he always played solos. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time they do, but a lot of times they'll be like, I'm going to play a duo with this other Twitch streamer. I'm going to
Yeah.
play a squad with these guys. A lot of PUBG online was a lot of squatting up, but Fortnite's like, you solo this map, it's 1 versus 50, you win. So, first of all, for adoption in gaming, it's huge. It's allowing the everyday regular person like Kyle to be on the news and win money playing a game. I'm sure his parents are ecstatic.
Yeah, he's had that dream for at least a year now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is like
It is so young.
Fortnite's only been out for like 3 years, technically maybe 2.5.
Yeah, two plus, yeah.
2+, and look where this. Now, I personally am not a fan of Battle Royale, but I do appreciate what Epic Games is doing, and this is a good step in the right direction with how to go about esports without it being too esports. Meaning, a lot of these gamers want to be on esport teams, but they can't, because they're not good enough. But at least you could try to be as good as you can, get qualified, make an event. Like my little brother is really good. He probably could have qualified for this, but I don't know if he did.
Yeah, your brother is really good. I remember
He's
that.
very good.
This format, how else has it been used everywhere else, or is
They've
this
done no. This
Well,
has been,
like for over a decade
Yeah.
in South Korea, I mean, the championship video game players there were treated like rock stars. They date musicians, they date actors and actresses and stuff like that. So they were.
Well, I'm saying, like, do they have to be recruited, or can anybody join, like much like this one was?
Oh, with these giant tournaments, I mean, they usually start, if you're going to do this, I think individuals can join no matter what. Like, you could start and work your way all the way through and then be a no-name that beats the biggest guy ever. Now, a lot of the esports tournaments that happen are organized.
Yeah,
So you have to be part of a team, you have to qualify, you have to be invited, or you have to be known or something like that. So I think for a battle royale, you'd hope that they allow a true battle royale of everybody who
Which is
owns
awesome.
the Fortnite game, which is free.
this
So-
kid in one single day of winning a tournament. Now his Twitch is going to be big. He's going to be able to stream. He's going to get
Sponsors,
sponsorships.
yeah.
He's got to make. Do you think he's going to be recruited onto a team?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
He's going to be shopped.
This
Does
is
he
how
have
they
managers
also
contacting him? Yeah.
Absolutely. Like FaZe or
Did teams
or
actually
team
play as well
solo-
during-
yeah, well, like Tfue from FaZe, who he was having trouble with FaZe. He was playing. Yeah, there was a lot of big people playing. Don't forget, Fortnite is not technically an official esport. It's not.
Yeah, it's League of Legends.
It's League of Legends, Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike, yeah.
Fortnite has done tournaments like this, so Epic Games is going the right direction. It's more like poker. It's more like open-ended. There are esport tournaments, but it's not officially like...
I gotta.
Is there like an
what
official
makes it-
board for esports to
Yeah.
decide like what gets in and everything?
What makes
I
it
mean,
legally an
it's
esport?
leagues. It's like there's the NBA, there's the MLG, and then there's
Okay.
there's ESL. So ESL has contracts with League of Legends and this and that. MLG has contracts
see.
with this and that.
Same
It's
thing
a
with-
league. It's just
Same thing with any sports.
I actually interviewed a lawyer in the video game esports realm, and he explained it best. You have the football and the NFL, right? Who owns the football? The NFL,
Yes.
right? So the NFL is allowed to have any other organization use the NFL for tournament purposes. But obviously they don't. They do their own thing.
Yeah.
Now, Epic Games says, here's a good example. League of Legends says, we will allow you to use our game in any league, but they own the football. So you know what they could say? They could say, guess what? We don't want MLG using League of Legends anymore. It's our property. It's our IP. No more leagues.
I'm taking my
You're
ball.
out.
I'm going home.
So they,
Wow.
who has the power? The IP. The
Wow.
intellectual property of the game has the right to decide, hey, your league can use our game or you can go
So
F
Epic's
yourself.
got all the control.
Epic has the control, and they have the
crazy.
right. Now, Valve is interesting. They're with Dota. They're like free to use it. Anyone could use it. It's
Yeah.
our game. Valve makes it, but any league can use it.
I like that way.
But it's and
But obviously, it's against business model.
Look at the Owl League. Guess what? The Owl's the perfect way to, that's the Overwatch League. Perfect way to explain the NFL is like the Owl League. That's their own TV production. That's all
That's
that.
the most exciting for me to watch.
Yeah. So that is, I guess,
That's some
pretty
good
much.
news.
That's some fun.
Yeah.
Some actually like really cool gaming news, like really positive, like exciting mainstream stuff. It was very mainstream.
Legitimizing competitive gaming.
Yeah.
20 years when I'm past my prime.
Man, I think I may have to pick up Fortnite.
But I
Too
use-
late, bro.
No, it is not. This kid picked it up in a year. I could do it in a year.
I personally just am terrible at Fortnite. I play it with a lot of my friends who are good. I've been able to, in PUBG I've had a winner chicken dinner. Winner chicken dinner. That's
Oh
when
yeah,
you
that's
clear
the
it.
full.
But I was in a squad with like 3 other people that were just carrying me because I'm just bad at those games.
I'm gonna try to compete next year. You guys are gonna follow my journey
Yeah.
to the $1 million.
That's
Yeah.
right. I'll
You guys
watch
in?
some slow thumbs
Sam,
knock
do you
the
like
rust off.
Fortnite?
Why am I in the corner?
You don't seem like a
I am
Fortnite
not
guy,
a
do you?
Battle Royale guy. And especially one where I have to craft and build things. That's out of my league.
See, I like the crafting and building, but the battle royale or the MOBAs, I'm like, I need story driven.
I'm a story guy. That's
Yeah.
why I like to play certain
Or
games.
team multiplayer stuff. Like, so Counter Strike I could get down with, and like Call of Duties, all those. Those are more.
But no, but if you're gonna give me $1 million, yeah, I'll play Fortnite. That's no problem. It's out there, guys. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
China, if you're still on the
Gonna
They're
be
line,
not there
By
anymore.
China.
They
Let's do
left,
this.
remember?
Yeah.
Well, that does it for our Block News segment, which is our new segment that we like to do, or we.
Just catch up on
It's
the
not like we
world.
like to do it. We do it every
I
week.
like to do it.
I like to do it too, but I'm not saying like, oh, it's just this week we're just gonna do.
Anyways,
it.
continue explaining.
It's very important. Anyway, that's it for Block News. Now we're gonna get into a little bit more gaming, some fun stuff. We're gonna do what we're playing. So, Aaron,
That's gonna be the transitions from now on.
Please
For
don't.
the people who are watching us live on Mondays.
You get my pistol finger, my laser fingers.
He'll laser finger, and that means we're going to a new
Space
segment.
lasers.
yeah.
I like it.
Actually, for the live show, I'm gonna get some of these throws for you, so you could play them live. So
that'd
that'll
be
probably
cool.
help.
No, laser fingers.
Laser
No,
fingers.
we could do the throws for live.
So-
we have this technology.
Aaron, last week it was Dying Light 1. What are you doing this week?
Last week was Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Oh, my bad, Dragon
which
Quest.
was decent because sometimes when I got to watch my daughter when she sleeps, my wife works at home, so I got to get out of one room.
But no one cares about last week's game. Let's talk about this week's
Dragon Quest
game.
Builders 2 is a lot
I'm
of
just
fun.
kidding.
So this week I got to pick up one. I downloaded this a couple weeks ago, or like almost a month ago, because when it got released, I was excited about it. Is My Friend Pedro, which came out. I was waiting because sometimes I prefer the Xbox personally. I know it's coming out for Switch and PC, and Nintendo somehow finagled a way to make sure that they had primary exclusivity, and they haven't even announced if it will be released on PS4 or Xbox. It probably will eventually. But it's almost like, an arcade-style game. I think it was $20 or $30. But it's a side-scroller. It's still got some good 3D effects to it. It's really a wacky game. So Pedro is a banana, and he's your friend. And he's educated. He's like trying to give you tips and tricks on how to like. I don't even know what the grand story arc of the game is, honestly. You got these like 2 pistols. You're a badass. You go through bullet time. You're jumping and doing flips. So one analog controls your body and you jumping around, and the other analog controls your gun direction. So you could be doing a front flip forward and shooting this guy back there, and then before you land, shoot that guy, and then up there, and you can send it into bullet time, and you can.
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty badass. And then you can even dodge anything. If you're like holding down the left trigger, he'll just start spinning around and he'll fire indiscriminately. Punching the mic, sorry. And then,
Yeah, careful.
I'm like, boom.
Careful. Save it for the game.
I'm so excited. My friend Pedro. But it's really cool action. I'm really getting my bearings on it. But when you could probably get your flow on there, it just seems like it'll be some of the most badass, wacky John Wick with extra flips action kind of stuff, and a friend who's a banana.
Nice.
So
is it a story, or you're just kind of going out there and doing your thing?
When I kind of got into it, it was already late, and I was like, I should go to bed. And I was like, oh, let me start playing this, and I started playing, and then 2 hours later, I'm like, it's 2 a.m. Oh god. So the story was a little bit lost on me at first. All I know is that you're a badass with guns, and a banana's helping you learn.
Okay.
So
It's pretty
Yeah.
popular. It was like just released like 2 months ago maybe.
something like that, yeah. And apparently it was being played by some demo teams or even some betas back in the day, and people were Twitch streaming it. So it got all this hype. People were like, oh, that's that game I saw. So it had the good hype. I ended up getting it, and it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun once I really start getting my flow with it. So
All right.
yeah.
I've been meaning
My friend
to-
Pedro on the
Yeah,
Switch.
check it out.
Check it out.
Okay, I'm in. All the Dooms got released on Switch.
Ooh, have you heard about
Yes,
the
1,
controversy
2,
about
3.
that?
Yeah, there was an Easter egg, wasn't there?
Oh no, this
I
is
thought
more
it
like
was
a
a joke.
rotten egg.
Bethesda.
No, okay, so you download Doom 1, 2, and 3, and it's only download. You couldn't get the disc, and then you want to play it. You have to register a Bethesda.net
Oh,
account,
that's right.
or you can't play it at
So
all. So you have to go
Bethesda
online.
fixed that.
I don't think
They
they
did.
fixed it.
As far as I know, they just said they.
Oh, maybe they just announced
No,
it.
I thought
The
it was
blowback was bad.
I thought it was like a joke. That's funny.
No, but it's like, okay,
They
these
always
games
want
were
you on
never
Battle.net.
offline. They're not
Always.
multiplayer, and you have to register with Bethesda.net before you can even play it.
I mean, obviously Bethesda was aware that it was going to be released, but I guess they just didn't click a certain button because it was hard for people on Switch to do that.
I just heard it was controversy. Everybody was pissed. They're like, I can't play it on airplane mode
so that's
if
why
I
they
don't
stopped
register
it.
an account.
Yeah, so that's.
And
I think they stopped
Nintendo
it.
probably
that
fixed
would have
it.
been very, very recent because all I heard
think
was
they
the outrage.
fixed it like right, almost quick. They fixed it. I thought. But-
No, it's definitely been days since the release. I know there's still been some fire and brimstone, but maybe by the time the
All right,
manicured
bad taste.
one of this episode comes out, it'll all be good.
We'll see.
We'll see. I know.
But let's talk about a really interesting game I've been meaning to talk about. It's a game I've been playing over time. It's called Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Exciting, right?
It sounds
Euro Truck
exhilarating.
Simulator 2.
Now, yes, you're saying, Andy, why are you playing a game about driving a truck? And I could tell you my answer is, I don't know why. I just started doing it. But really, the story is it came out in 2016. It's considered one of the best, if not greatest, driving simulators ever made. And there's a reason, if you go on like
Damn.
Steam and you check the reviews, it is astonishing how positive this game is. Now,
Is it
for
very
me-
true to life?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
You have to.
People love that kind of weird
So
stuff.
People like to live another life.
It's part driving game, part tycoon game. And you know, I love tycoon games. So this was me saying, all right, let me try this driving a truck thing. I'm from.
In Europe.
Do I look like I hate pickup trucks. I hate trucks in general. Like, so why am I playing
You
this?
just lost all of our southern audience.
I know.
Man,
But
Georgia, come back.
Sam, we have it up, right? As you can see, it's as simply as you're in a cab, and you can change the camera angles, but what's great is you have to follow the laws. Like, you can't just hit someone or they're going to tack off money off of your journey. You can't run
Yeah.
a red light. They're going to tack off money. You can't
Follow
injure.
the rules, everyone.
You got to drive
Oh,
correctly.
man.
So, like, when there's a red light, I, like, slow down and, like, take a stop.
So there's a weird pleasure you're getting out of these kind of games, huh?
Now, the kicker is the great
Wait,
part
which
of it.
side of the road are you driving on?
And this is European, so I'm on the left side of the road. I'm mostly driving in Britain, and it's mostly UK. And then you can cross over on a train that takes you over the water and stuff. It's pretty,
Wow.
pretty cool. But
Deep.
my main thing behind it is, look, it's got all the tycoon games things you want. You could hire drivers, you could buy trucks, you could custom your trucks, you could get a bank loan. So my goal, which is my
Yeah, tell everybody your retirement
my
plan right here.
my whole truck simulator goal is I don't want to take a loan from a bank. No, sir. I'm not going to buy a truck yet.
We are
No way.
the Coinboys. We are not fans
So-
of banks. Don't take any
Fiscally
loans.
responsible.
In the
Coinboys.
game, you could work as a driver, which means like you get like, say you're going to work for this company, you're going to drive corn to this town that's 24-hour drive, and they give you the truck and they pay you the fee to drive. So I've accumulated about $300,000 almost. Once I get to $1 million, then I'm gonna buy 2 trucks. I'm gonna hire 2 drivers, and I'm gonna start my empire, which is gonna be 100% profitable. Meaning I didn't get a bank loan. I didn't do any of that. And I've
This is
earned
definitely
all
the
my
long
money.
play here. This is.
I love the long play.
I don't-
How long is it going to take you to get that $1 million?
So I've put about 60 hours in, and I've gotten to about
Jesus.
300,000.
Oh man.
Now,
Is that like
let
true
me
to life?
Hold on.
probably.
It's really easy to So this is a game you have to play on the weekend, kind of,
Uh-huh.
because the way it works is I can take a $30,000 job, but that $30,000 job is going to be a 24-hour drive, which means that in real time that'll probably take me about 2.5 hours in real life.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say it's
No.
a 24-hour
It's
drive.
like Flight Simulator is like that, but still, 2.5 hours of committing to driving a truck is rough. So the kicker,
driving following the rules.
one of the best part of this game is that people play this game while listening to podcasts, while listening
that's
to
true.
music.
Makes
You
sense.
could actually, there's a folder that attaches to the game that you could throw in all your MP3 tracks, and on the
Make your own
in-game
playlist.
radio, you could switch
Giddy.
through. Yeah, so I was listening to Coinboys on my truck. And it tells you it's like Coinboys. It's amazing what they've done. And there's been mods. So there wasn't snow for a while. Now there's snow. And then there's upgraded, like, different types of trucks to get. And for $11 that I spent on sale, it's about a $39.99 game still. But I got it for $11. And it's,
Oh, that's nice.
I told Daniel, it has reached close to my top 10 games of all time.
He
Damn.
was high praising this Euro truck. He's like, yeah, I've never
This
been
game
to
is
Europe, and
amazing.
now I'm driving around.
See,
I'm like, I don't know how
this
accurate
kind of
it's gonna
games
be.
got almost like pioneered in Japan. Because I remember when I lived in Japan, in Tokyo, 2000 to 2002, and there was one of those outrageously popular games. It was like Tokyo Bus Driver. and it was how you had to get all your stops on time. You had to follow all the laws. So I tried to get on the game. I tried ripping around, and they literally throw like pedestrians out in front, so you crash and fail if you try to be crazy about it, and you immediately fail, and you lose your 100 yen. But it was like everybody was obsessed with it just being a on-time, perfect driver, bus driver, and that was a phenomenon to the gaming world.
Well, here's a good question for me. Do you feel confident to drive a truck tomorrow?
No.
Okay,
It's not
so
Microsoft
Using a
Truck Simulator.
keyword
Yeah.
is not the same as
Sure.
Now, what's great about it, and what most people do, is they buy the steering wheel, and I've seen some Euro Truck Simulator 2 setups, and there's actually people who shoot their steering wheel as their camera, and they drive the truck so you can see. Like
I
how-
would.
Oh, I love
I would
this.
get one UV light to my left and just get like that farmer's tan right there.
So again, the game came out in 2016, and it's still
But it still holds up, huh?
Still holding up, and the
That's really
graphics,
crazy.
by the way, are outstanding. The scenery, the graphics, I'm really impressed.
Well,
by this
would you
game.
be able to tour Britain? Would you be able to show me around Britain? Because I played Tony
Only
Hawk.
if it's on his route.
Is
Oh,
it on
sure.
my route with my
Your corn
my
hog?
hazardous liquid delivery?
But I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and they had a level in San Francisco, and I had never been to San Francisco when I was a kid. And then I went to San Francisco. I knew where I was
Oh, that's like GTA,
because
man.
of Pro Skater.
GTA, they condense LA so well for like Los Santos being like everything. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's obviously the police station at Beverly Hills. Oh my God, that's Santa Monica Muscle Beach. There's the pier. It's like
Do you think you could guide yourself? Have you ever been to?
not
England,
enough
or-
to
I've
probably
never
not
been
enough
to
to know
Europe, so
trucking
I
routes.
won't.
We gotta figure this
So
out.
I'll
We
get
gotta
off the
go.
plane. I'll be lost. Be like, hey, so in Euro Truck Simulator 2, I saw this landmark. Do you know this landmark?
That'd be the greatest.
They'll look at me like, what?
What?
Do you guys remember that Penn and
Aren't you
Teller game that
American?
came
Why
out
are
a
you
while
playing
ago?
European
What was the
truck
Penn and Teller
games?
game?
The Penn and Teller game they had, it was like called 8 Hour Road Trip. And it was literally driving from like Albuquerque, New Mexico to San Francisco or
forget
something
it.
like that.
That'd be the
It was
worst.
literally live time. It was 8 hour drive. And it was like there's people streaming who were just like going and driving for 8 straight hours on like desert roads. It was like the most boring thing, but they kind of released it as a joke, and then people were like, "Oh, do it," and then they really released it and
But
got popular. So.
I've seen things that I've never seen before. I've never knew about the train, how the trains can go on these special trains. So you take your bus onto a train, and then it zips you over the water, which was cool. I've never seen those before. There's a lot of like,
I
and
guess
keep
we
in mind,
we
this
still don't
is-
know if it's true.
the best part is I'm American driving on the wrong side of the road in a game that you don't drive on the right side of
I've
the road.
actually driven on the wrong side of the road
So-
in Ireland. That is scary.
What it will
did that
help
in
me
Japan.
though, like if I feel like if I had to rent a car and I played this game enough, I would feel comfortable with how you drive on the other
I
side.
could see
of the
that.
road. That is one thing I
Yeah.
think I've learned so far.
Because steering wheel on the wrong side, on the different side, and driving the other side was like very hard in Japan at first.
Yeah.
I only drove outside of Tokyo. Inside
Scared
Tokyo, I didn't want to drive anywhere.
Oh, that must be
was
crazy.
That was nuts.
But Daniel,
So-
you're still a little bit of Borderlands.
I am still doing Borderlands the pre-sequel.
Well, those aren't good. Those aren't
It's-
rushable.
yeah,
You know, those
I-
are long.
I was thinking,
epic
I'm going to be
boss.
halfway through this. I'm like, man, what am I doing? So the thing is, it's been a while since I've had such a complicated game, and I like it. I like it a lot. But you know, there are things that I'm still getting used to coming back into this whole thing. One, this guy right here, this little
Oh, the little like
This guy.
touch sensitive pad.
yeah. I'm like, there's so many buttons. I can't. So switching between guns, switching between ammunition, switching back and forth, switching between missions, switching between maps, switching. There are so many
Yeah,
things.
and that's
It's-
not even the most
it's-
complex game out there.
It's like I'm playing Microsoft Word, but with guns. So
More like Excel.
It's the most. I'm like, oh man, so many functions. So I'm getting my brain.
You'll get your flow.
wrapped around
It's
it.
The
and-
learning curve. Once we got away from like Nintendo to Super Nintendo, you went from 2 buttons to 6 buttons. And then now you're on 2 different shoulder buttons, 4 buttons on the front. You got the
many
analog
buttons.
sticks. You could push the analog sticks in for R3 and L3. You've got a touch sensor in the middle. It's like,
I had 8 options max because when I started playing, the joysticks weren't in there. So I had 8 options max to do something, and then obviously a combination of the 8 would do something else. Whenever I was playing, and everything does its own thing, and I'm just like, oh man, even the up and down arrows do different things, and I'm
yeah,
like
'cause
used
that's
to
like-
that as direction
that'll like,
versus.
it'll either
Yeah.
like change something on there or switch your grenades or something. Yeah.
It's so I was just like, oh man, so I'm pressing
Welcome
up
to
to
modern
try
gaming.
to try to go up, and I keep on switching my gun. I'm like, no, wrong one. Hold on a second.
Your brain will learn. The learning curve for some of those games, like Assassin's Creed, learning
It all
those
just clicks
layouts.
eventually.
Yeah.
So
Takes a
basically, when you watch this show, the video show, I'm gonna play the role of the dad, going, "Yeah, I'll get back into games, son." But I was good at the time.
We
when I was
welcome you,
playing.
Daniel.
I was
Welcome
good,
back to
but
hardcore
now
gaming.
it's like going from oh my god, it's like going from using just an oven with one knob to using like this really really crazy microwave that can do different things when you touch it.
You just got to push
insane.
baked potato or popcorn.
I had
or quick
my
cook.
uncle has a really advanced microwave, and it's very condescending because it's one knob, just one knob. It's like the old iPod back in the day. Just
Yeah.
the one knob, you would press it, and it asks you questions versus like let you set a time, which just asks you questions like, "What are you cooking?" It's like, "Oh, I'm cooking beans." Okay, frozen or defrosted? I'm like, defrosted.
Sounds
how
like a
much?
pioneering microwave, right?
It's like how much? I'm like, I guess I don't know, a cup's worth. Do you really need that much? It's like, well, that's not a question I was expecting.
I can see your man boobs.
It's a very
It's a
condescending,
very
condescending microwave. So anyways, that's where
Maybe
my
it's a British
inspiration
microwave.
for this. Yeah.
nice. Sam, what did you play? I know you played that lava game with your children. What was it called?
Lava Dragon. Lego Lava Dragon.
Anything like that?
But that was a little
actually
bit.
Yeah.
Ages what? Zero,
That's still-
3
It was,
to 5
it
or
was
something?
like 6 and up or something.
6.
like
Okay.
that. This weekend we played Find It,
Find it,
which
okay.
is kind of like the memory game, except you all have cards.
Oh,
with
it's a real
different
game.
animal-
I thought you were tricking
Oh,
your
yeah,
children.
no.
Like, hey,
No,
Dad
yeah.
lost his keys.
Oh boy,
Find it.
here's the game. No, yeah, you each get a card with a picture of like 10 animals on it, and then you flip over a card and you try and match.
Oh, it's
Oh,
kind of like
okay.
the memory
Like a
game.
memory
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
which
just a different play on that.
I used to
and
be
then we,
decent at, but it's like I'd always play those in games like, oh, to get a bonus, do the memory game, and I'm like, I fail.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Then we played an indie game called Vi, which my 2-year-old like tapped out of immediately
Oh, wow.
as soon as her sister took over one of her lands. But basically the way it works is it's a card deck game, but it acts like a tile game. So you have all these illustrations of different terrain, like ocean, woods, mountain, blah, blah, blah. And if you put down a pair, like the map starts with 5 cards, and if you put one down that matches, you put a token on the match and the one you've played. And there are buildings that let you take over different ones as well.
Nice.
So she got taken over pretty quickly.
So yeah, like within the first round, she was like, I don't like this.
Have any of your kids tossed the board?
Not yet, no.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
well, don't let him watch that. The famous
Don't let them rage quit.
rage quitter.
We
I
don't
know.
even own Monopoly, so I think it's going to be
great.
okay.
I was gonna say, it
I
sounds
haven't
like
played
don't
Monopoly
play.
in a while.
What is it?
I did it with chess. I did it with Monopoly. I'm like, game's over.
Oh no. Yeah, I can imagine what your closet looks like with all the board games you probably have.
We have 2 different bookcases.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
We have
rad.
like
That's
the kids
dedication.
bookcase, and then in the garage I have like and the real games.
Sam Proof, the king of analog gaming, everyone.
I love it.
I know.
Well, that was
stuff.
exciting. I hope you guys enjoy your games, and maybe next week we'll have different games.
But what
we're
are you
playing.
guys playing? You could always hit us up on Coinboys Podcast on Twitter.
Yeah, tell us what you're playing.
Yeah.
Tweet us, Coinboys Podcast.
Yeah, if you guys like Fortnite and you think that you've got what it
If
takes
you
to
can
help
coach
Daniel,
me on Fortnite, oh my gosh.
let
That'd
him
be
know.
the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, we're pretty
Because
active on Twitter.
I will give you a certain percentage, like 10% of the million.
I don't think you're selling them.
20%? I'm really
You
bad
give him
negotiator.
10%. Okay?
75%.
There you go.
A waffle. I don't know. Give me. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, this is one of our segments. We'll talk about games we're playing, which is pretty cool. And I'll try to mix the bag because I have a lot of indie games on my list that I've been playing. But yeah, so now that we talked about what we're playing, let's do Coin Boys Play. And today,
Where are the fingers?
today we're gonna do some. So this past weekend, let me get this box.
Oh yeah, this is such a super cool thing.
Okay, so
So Andy's really big into retro gaming. I'm reclaiming my life with retro gaming.
Sam, if you want to go.
And yeah, some people, I mean, it's even some of the kids, which really I think is amazing. We talked about it before. Some guy we met in video game chat. This guy's kid Cyberfire is 14 years old, and he just loves retro gaming, and I just think it's amazing that some of the teenagers are getting back into the old school stuff. So tell about the retro freak right there.
So yes, I am more of a retro collector. If you're on my Twitter, I'm all about retro games. So I'm trying to rebuild my childhood.
And retro commercials. I saw you put a Nerf thing up there. That was
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, I like. Well, I'm
And Crossfire.
I'm a nostalgia junkie in general.
that's true.
But I mean, yeah, that's part of it. But man, you could go down a rabbit hole in that Nerf football. That thing changed my life.
Mine too, man. I got a spiral out of
That
it.
thing changed my life. But anyway, this is not the Nerf podcast. So, although I had a
Which you used to
podcast called Nerfed, a Destiny podcast.
And Nerf went after him and made him change it.
No, Hasbro did.
Oh,
That's a whole
that's-
nother.
Sorry, yes. Destiny liked it. Hasbro did
I'll
not.
have to go down that rabbit hole one day. But anyway, back to Retro Freak. Japanese company that made,
Let me use my Vanna White skills.
they're pretty much, it's pretty much just a blank white unit that has.
Pretty no frills.
It's
but
no,
its
no
function
thrills.
is amazing.
Where's the? So basically, what you could play on it is you could do, which we showed last week, I think, TurboGrafx, PC Engine, Mega Drive, Genesis, Super NES,
Super Famicom.
Famicom, NES. So
Game
what I'm
Boy.
Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, original Game Boy. So yes, it is loaded. So I don't know if you could see, but
So-
there's like pretty much a whole
I
bunch of
see.
stuff.
So
It's
yeah,
all
I
tiny
see-
pictures, sorry. It's,
I see
it-
on this. On
it's
the
just a
box,
box. Takes them all.
There's the main console on the box, and then are these attachments?
So the kicker is, so the attachment here is that this has a port for Genesis controllers, Super NES controllers, stuff like that. But this little thing is actually on the system, and you could pull it off. Because here's the magic. I could flash games to SD cards. So I could take a game and put it onto an SD card and then take the system apart smaller and then go on vacation with it.
And it basically becomes this emulator system. Well, it's not emulating anything. It's copying
It's
an existing
legit-
game
it's
from
a
his
legit
library.
system.
If
Yeah.
you're interested in looking into these, go on YouTube. There are a lot of top and high-end YouTubers in the retro community that like to do reviews. I recommend checking out Metal Jesus's review, and that's a real guy, one of the best retro people on YouTube. He does a fine. He convinced me to buy it. So I did a lot of.
It's not super cheap.
It's not super cheap, but check out if you're interested. Play Asia. Play Asia is probably your one-stop shop where I feel comfortable buying Japanese imports and stuff. That's where I got this baby. It came, from Japan a week later, and also, of course, what's great. This box is all in Japanese. They have in English. Right when you open it, you can put it on English, so you know what's going on. So,
thank goodness.
long story short, that's the Retro Freak. Now, we have it set up. You don't see it, but we have it set up, and I picked up an old NES game. SNES game, Fatal Fury, which on the NES...
First off, I've never heard of this game.
Really?
Oh, it was pretty big in the
but
arcades.
I was looking at it. It
So
looks
Sam,
like
we can
Street.
throw
It
up
looks
if
like
you have
the
it already.
original Street Fighter.
This was on Neo Geo back in the day, too?
Yes, this was a Neo Geo.
Yeah.
But then, now the SNES version isn't the best, but...
No, the arcade was a little sharper, so the
and
Neo Geo was a little sharper.
Yeah, absolutely. But be careful, sir. Just choose somebody.
No, a quick question.
you
For the
Okay.
Retro Freak, is there any lag? Has there been any glitches?
No, that's why. So there's Retron 5, which is another company, American, I believe, that is kind of competing. You can compare them.
Are we getting sound on this? By the way?
It's not no big deal if we do.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
I want them to hear how
Well,
sweetly
you
I'm.
want to put it up?
Just look at it and imagine what you think the digitized music in the background was going to sound
See,
like.
this was old school. This was a fighting game.
Well, here's the thing.
Thank you,
Come on,
Daniel.
come on, come on.
Back on these 16-bit systems, remember their mechanics, they couldn't just transfer over all of them from the arcades.
Yeah,
So
they had to rebuild them,
they're
basically.
a little jagged. They're not always the same, but I mean, Fatal Fury was... Now, Fatal Fury 2 is probably better. You're going to beat me.
Ooh.
You know what I'm really excited for? Ryan Reynolds' new movie where he plays one of the background characters in a video game.
I didn't see the
Is
trailer
this a
for that.
thing?
It's on Netflix. So he plays he just
It's
finished
coming
rapping.
out on Netflix?
It's gonna be on Netflix like next year or something.
That's smart.
But he plays a guy who realizes he's just the background character of a video game.
I love that.
I love the
and
concept.
and so like everything he's like doing everything repeatedly every day.
All right.
I'm excited for that. So I would probably be one of those guys.
Get
right
your weird...
there.
air
so
thing.
when I was watching this, I totally thought this was Street Fighter.
Well, it's a fighting game.
Did they all look like this? Like Street
Well-
Fighter 2, I thought it was like the
yeah,
first.
this was like
is
the whole
Neo
style.
Geo-esque, and Neo Geo is big on the fighting games, Capcom owns...
I mean, they had Samurai Showdown. They had, and of course, Street Fighter, original Street Fighter. Then Street Fighter 2 was popular. Fatal Fury, King of Fighters. I mean, there was a whole I'm gonna totally win.
Oh, God, this guy's...
So I'm gonna play winner.
Sure.
So the controllers
It's gonna
for
be-
the Retro Freak. Controls
Go
for Retro
full
Freak.
Ric Flair on you.
Do you have to buy specific controllers for Retro Freak, or can you
No,
get
well,
any? Like, what is that?
So I had to kind of map. I didn't have much time, but yeah, you can hook up any controller.
This is a USB Super Nintendo
I
style
also
controller.
have the converter where you can use old controllers as well.
That's cool.
But you have to kind of map everything. The Retro Freak controller, it's not the greatest controller, but it works with everything, pretty
Okay.
much. But I have a lot of options on the Retro
All right,
Freak.
you get to pick who you want to be.
All right. Well, you were this. I haven't seen this guy play.
I'm gonna have to stick with
And
Andy
then-
Bogard, my man right
There's
there.
only 3 players. Can you get more?
I think
See, that was the
you
thing
get
though. There was
more.
only 3. Like Street Fighter 2 was like, look at all these fighters back in the day.
Press,
I'm gonna move around.
yeah, there you go.
Do the geese building.
Geese building.
This
Just
last
a
guy.
bunch of
I don't
geese in the
remember even
background.
playing all the way through, so there's probably non-playable enemies that you
Yes.
fight through. Yeah, that's. I remember playing this in the arcade much more than I ever
Now
played it.
you're
on,
playing off the Retro Freak, by the way. And what do you guys think? It looks there's no like screen lag.
No.
It's pretty much running off of the actual cartridge.
Yeah, so far it's. I mean, it's clunky just for the fact that I haven't played one of these actual
Well, this is
SNES
like a
ones.
16-bit fighter game,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's not the greatest,
And
but
it's a
classic.
translation of an existing, much better performing Neo Geo
Yes,
game
yes.
that was arcade quality back in the day.
But I think the graphics are pretty good, pretty cool for a 16-bit for back then. Look at the background art.
know
That's
what it
true.
is?
Oh yeah, and it's got the 2
It's got
different
a
moving
great-
backgrounds.
Your B&A lag.
I
Is
guess.
there anything?
You're
is there
a
anything?
B and A.
Your
You're
B&A
lagging A and B.
lag.
Do they?
Yeah, because I can't. I've been trying to kick and stuff.
You
And
gotta
it's not
do-
working.
I
I'm
think
doing
you might
Y
be
and B.
pressing
I
the
only
wrong
got-
button.
I only got punches out. I pressed them all.
It's only these two, I believe.
Oh well, then let me.
And then A is throw.
The reason it's lagging because you're pressing
See,
buttons that aren't
that's
doing
that's not an
anything.
attack. That's a throw.
Yeah, that's a throw.
So I've got the advantage here that I kind of know what I'm doing, and Daniel's
Yeah, seriously.
Daniel's Fortnite thumbs are still a little slow.
I'm gonna call China and complain about so much.
Boom.
Are you the only one with like a thrower? Or am
No,
I
it's,
able to,
you just
like,
got to
hit
try
fire?
the
Just gotta know the
standard
moves.
the
I don't
standard
know any
moves,
of
which
the
is like
moves.
do a half crescent forward. Oh, there we go. See,
Damn, Santa's-
do forward and.
I need a
and-
rematch on Santa before we call it quits.
Oh yeah, no.
There
we're
we
gonna
go,
Get that
see?
rematch going.
Because
Oh, I'm the
almost
reigning
threw you.
champion.
I
Get him,
almost
get
threw
him.
you.
I am the king of fighters. Oh, that's a different game. Oh,
Wow.
I think this is Fatal Fury, the King of Fighters.
Yes, and I think Fate of
Right, there's-
King of Fighters became its own separate. They did the year one. It's like King of Fighters 94, King of Fighters 95, King of
Right.
Fighters 90. Yeah.
But no, generally the graphics look good. It upconverts really well on the TV as well. If you
It actually
notice.
does. Yeah. It's like I remember back in the day trying to emulate stuff on a big HD TV. You were like, oh god, it's
I'm gonna try
horrible.
this guy.
I think I'm gonna have to stick with the tried and
You
true.
stick with who you know. Man.
Andy Bogard. Gonna Bogard all these
All right,
games.
last match.
All right, we're doing it.
The geese building, by the way, I didn't see any geese. Did you?
We're going to Pop.
No, Geese is the bad guy's name. Geese Howard.
Seriously?
Yeah. 'Cause right after I went, he
I'm
goes,
like, where are the
is
ducks?"
Geese Howard? No, it's not the Mighty Geese. Yeah. This
Where
is like a
like
Chinese
geese just
restaurant.
go around, like,
oh, wait.
betting.
Oh, this looks like Capoeira guys. Like they're playing like looks like they're playing the beat
Oh, they are. Oh my
beat
gosh.
and the bongo thing. or
Only
whatever,
the
yeah.
strong in the background. Nice.
I used to take Capoeira back in the day.
Paranaway.
Trying to grab you.
Hey.
It's not a good idea.
You can't tie Andy Bogard down. Oh, look who's finally getting it.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Come on, come on.
Get him out.
You know what they need to make, and I would buy in a heartbeat?
What's
a
that?
Kickboxer video game.
You mean the one based
Jean-Claude
on-
Van Damme.
Oh, what about Kickboxer 2 with what's his name?
With
Sasha Mitchell?
Sasha Mitchell?
Who
I'm in.
Didn't he go to jail for beating his pregnant wife?
Apparently that was a misunderstanding. But I'm not too sure what was misunderstood. I'm not quite sure. So we're going to go with that.
Come on, no comebacks here.
Oh!
Oh, no!
Oh my gosh.
Damn it.
Still first
All right.
one in.
All right, this is it. This is the last one. If I don't tie this.
Bananue.
But I don't know. It's
Damn,
had
that
the
was
dude from
close.
Double Dragon, who eventually became the head guy from Iron Chef America.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like so. Did you ever watch the Japanese Iron Chef?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Morimoto.
So, but yeah,
big
Morimoto's
guy,
from
yeah,
that one. But
uh-huh.
like they had a counselor or judge or whatever, the guy who kind of hosted it, and he's like, Iron Chef, and he like introduced it to everybody. But they needed his American nephew, played by the dude from Only the Strong and Double Dragon.
Oh my goodness.
And he's like, I was just excited to see him like, get work.
Damn it.
There it is.
There it is. You
I did
found
that
the
once.
special
I did
maneuver.
that once, but I couldn't figure out how to do it again.
See, there's intricacies from Street Fighter and even, I guess Marvel vs. Capcom is too advanced for me to try some of those techniques of where you go past somebody and then you can kind of do a 180 and get them. in the throw for the execution.
I had enough of losing, but that was cool.
My SNES
Actually, I was
fatality.
starting to feel more comfortable as we kept playing.
Well, you
so.
got to kind of get back into the pacing. I
It's
mean,
a-
that's one of the things. The pacing is different when you only had
I
so
felt
many
it was
frames
like
per
you were
second.
hitting the buttons precisely versus I was just trying to see
We all
what would
mashed
launch.
starting. I know. And once I had to find my pacing, I started
Phew,
getting
I almost
strategic.
lost. It was a good experience for me to fight. That was you.
but Great translation there.
Does this have a story? Like Street Fighter?
Yeah, this is
each
somewhat of a
individual
story.
one
I
had
don't
a story,
remember what it
sure.
was.
Somebody's girlfriend got kidnapped.
It's probably the dude with the
And
hat.
it's like, it's his sister, but it's his girlfriend. And this guy just hates the bad guy or something. It's like,
Oh.
they're all these like loose Japanese
Hey.
old storylines from
No,
back
man,
in the
I'd
day.
follow that storyline. Let's do it.
Well, that was like every 80s. That was Double Dragon. He punched your girlfriend in the stomach and walked away. Let's go get
But
him.
I loved it.
This is a game I thought would be cool because, like, man, no one's thought of Fatal Fury in a long time. So,
That's true. And the fact that you picked this one up was
yeah,
that's
it's
a good,
pretty cool.
That's a good thing for the archives and
Yeah.
the classics to have. I've been
Look at
trying to
that.
rebuild my
You
retro
can't
collection.
see it, but I got the SNES version right there. in
Yes.
my
Actual
retro fridge.
I
Cartridge.
am trying to reclaim all of my lost library that I sold to GameStop like a dumbass.
Yes.
Oh my
Don't
God.
sell your games, kids. Keep
'em.
them. Hold on. Put them in a box.
I
Put
think
'em
I
in
still
storage.
have some somewhere. I'll probably
Nowadays,
dig it
Dig 'em out,
definitely
bro.
hold on to your retro games.
Well, especially because if you dig out that box, I mean, you can actually sell some for bank.
Yeah.
I forget what Knights of the Round on SNES was selling for around $120 to $140
There's
for the
some
original
that are-
cartridge.
They just keep going up.
Yeah, that was sold for $40 at Toys R Us back in the 90s.
I will find ET on Atari.
Oh,
I watch a lot of retro collectors on YouTube, and there's a good way to follow trends. So GameStop, for instance, they have now no longer carry GameCube games, and the last games right now are Wii and Wii U, and there's no more. There's Xbox 360 a little bit, but as those games go out in those main stores, the retro collecting picks up. So GameCube right now is huge.
Yeah.
Genesis and Mega Drive is blown. Anything Sega right now
Yeah, it's
is
true.
huge.
Dreamcast is still really popular. People are trying to get
Saturn
Saturn.
has made a comeback.
Yep.
It's
I
been,
know.
You know, it's honestly Sega has done a fantastic job at not only everyone's thinking of Nintendo, but Sega's coming out with their mini Genesis, and I can't wait for that. It's
The library in that looks cool.
I
That's
even
some
got
great
to-
ones.
I got to try it out when I worked at the show on E3 Live back at E3. I'm sorry, on YouTube back at E3.
Very
The
confusing.
Sega guy came with it in a special bag, and he showed us it.
Yeah.
The Genesis controller is the best part.
Special bag.
The best part. Yeah, he really did have like a special.
was
bag.
like-
Hey man,
Like a
you
hidden
want a
bag.
controller?
But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that we showcase maybe a lot more retro games. And if there's games that you guys are interested, you want to check out, please tweet us at Coinboys Podcast.
And what do you want to see me beat them in? I
Yeah,
know
so-
this won't always happen. I'm
Forget
hoping
it.
it will, but yeah.
It's been like 18 years since
So
I
far,
played Fatal
he's
Fury.
won
Okay?
every single time.
That's
Getting
actually
annoying.
true. I'm so far at
You're
100%
undefeated.
of Game Boys, Coinboys play.
Forget you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Now, give us some requests. What do you
Yeah.
want to see us battle? I'm pushing for maybe Overcooked because that gets pretty wacky, and all three of us can play that. Actually, I might want to bring Sam over to play Overcooked
Sure.
because it's a great communication game. I think
We'll have to do
married
that.
couples need to do it for communication.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Married
You're supposed to
couples.
talk to people, you guys get to meet
I
them.
actually spent some time working over at Geek and Sundry, and they played Overcooked. And I have history as like I used to make pizza, and like watching these people play, I was like, "What are you doing? That's not how you run a
You got
kitchen."
anxiety.
Overcooking.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Overcooked. And Overcooked 2 came out, which is supposed to be way crazier. So we'll play
Yeah.
one. But yeah, let us know what you guys what do you want to see us play, or what you guys are playing. Because if we get a resounding amount of answers, we'd love to
Yeah.
feature who's playing what and
Yeah,
what
why
seems to be the
not?
most popular. So
But yeah, but I mean, that pretty much does it for the show. Before I head out, I do want to thank, of course, Mobcrush for having us in studio. This video show podcast is powered by Mobcrush. Sam, again, thank you so much. sir.
Sam the man.
And also, we have a second podcast coming out tomorrow, Tuesday.
If you're watching this live.
For those of you who want to check it out, we talked to a company called Orbs, or they're a decentralized coin out there. So definitely check it out. We learned a lot in terms of blockchain technology in that one. So
They
it was really
called
fun.
us from Israel.
They called us from Israel.
So that's exciting.
Dedication.
And I got two things to remind you about. First of all, coming off the podcast is our iTunes. It's very important to us. It's a really great place to help us get ratings and reviews. So check out Coinboys through iTunes. And second, our final thing we really want you to go check out is thecoinboys.com.
yeah,
And
all the resources there, blogs, all the episodes.
former episodes, blogs, and of course, check out mobcrush.com. And I want to say thank you again to you guys
Yeah.
Another week, another way down.
I want to say thank you to Aaron, but not to Andy.
I don't know why I said
little
that,
bit
now,
of bitterness
but I'm Andy, aka producer BTW.
I'm Daniel, aka at DGutierrez84.
I'm Aaron, also known as Sanity, but at Sanity Crypto on Twitter and Instagram.
And Sam?
I'm Sam Proof on all the platforms.
All the platforms.
of
You heard it
Sam.
from us.
Proof of Sam.
Again, check out our podcast, new podcast, in-depth interview tomorrow. We will be doing an edited version of this show that will have a little bit more context to throw to that will go live on Wednesday. Until then, I'm Andy, and these are the Coinboys, and we'll
Coinboys
see you
over
next
there.
time.
Peace, guys.